Chapter 1, Section 6, Classifications of Evidence. Fitness YouTube videos highlighting individual studies have become increasingly popular thanks to some very credible content creators. But understanding where individual studies fit into the preponderance of evidence on a subject can be confusing. There are typically 5 levels of evidence when we are talking about different studies or reviews. Level 5 evidence, at the bottom of the pyramid, would be expert opinion. In other words, level 5 evidence is the observations and personal anecdotes of professionals who have been around the game for a while and hold some position of credibility within their field. Level 4 evidence are things like case series and case reports. In a medical setting, these would be reports of multiple patients who were administered the same treatment, but there were no control groups available to compare the findings. Level 3 evidence would include case control studies and cohort studies. Case control studies are when you identify the group known to have an outcome, which would be the case, and the group known to be free of that outcome, or the controls. The researcher would then look back in time to learn which subjects in each group had the outcome, comparing the frequency of the outcome in the case group to the control group. These are retrospective studies. In cohort studies, the process is similar, except that the subjects are followed prospectively through the study and observed in real time. Randomized control trials, or level 2 evidence, randomly select study participants into an experimental group or control group, and then the researchers conduct the study. Randomizing the subjects helps wash away many of the observer biases, and the results can be analyzed with statistics. Unfortunately, these studies generally don't reveal the causation of specific outcomes in the study, you just get the results. And lastly, level 1 evidence are meta-analyses or systematic reviews. These are when researchers pore over data from many different studies to develop a single conclusion that has higher statistical relevance than a single study could have. This allows researchers to analyze more subjects from diverse populations and to aggregate their findings. Many individual studies can have conflicting results for a litany of reasons, so meta-analyses are a great way to make sense of them. When you're looking for the general consensus or the preponderance of evidence on a subject, meta-analyses or systematic reviews are the first place you should look. You know, I gotta tell you, in high school, when they were talking about, research, nobody ever tells you there's different kinds of research. Like, that's not important. So you spend your whole life thinking research is research, and then you become one of these people that just looks to get in Facebook arguments just so they can copy and paste a study that they found that they probably didn't even have access to PubMed to read in the first place. Social media is kind of a gift and a curse in that way in 2020 because, you know, on one hand, we have so much access to good information, but you really have to understand how research is done in order to understand the context of that information. I mean, copy and pasting a PubMed link into a Facebook argument is like Karen arguing with Beth and slamming Prevention Magazine down on the table thinking like, oh, I got her now. Not all research is created equal, and that's okay. All of it matters, all of it has its place, but it's not every single study is valid because it's a study. I mean, I gotta tell you, if you've been around like the professional fit douche game long enough, you're probably gonna come across tons of trainers that have run case studies on something that we know is total BS, like the anabolic window or, you know, organic clean food, whatever that means in the first place, is your path to getting shredded. Like, if you've been around this game long enough, you've heard of trainers saying they've done a case study and now they're trying to sell you their thing like they're some bona fide researcher. It's like, hey, guy, there's a colloquial definition of case study, and then there's all of the rest of this stuff. So it's just not the same thing, and so much of understanding the scientific method is not because you're going to be a scientist, but it's to help you sift through the BS a lot easier, and you'll end up saving a lot of time and money as a result. If you need to find a place to train, go to gymspot.fit. Tell us where you are, what you're looking for, and we'll take care of the rest. Gymspot, the world's best gym locator.